What's going on, man? It's your guy Mally.abstract, man, and we're back with another video, man. I got this tutorial for y'all, man, and I'm gonna show y'all how to sequence drums with groove and feel. We want to get that humanized swing going in our beats. That's what hip hop is all about. So, you know, like I said before, sharp, tight, to the point. We're gonna keep it simple. So let's dive right into it. On sequence 2, man, I got some drums here. Now these are the kind of drums that you want to avoid. You want to avoid these kind of drums right here. Let me go ahead and play them. You see what I'm saying? Those drums are bland, stale, no feel to them. Everything's on the grid. Teach his own. If this is how you rock out, do your thing. But in this hip hop, in this thing that we call hip hop, we want those necks to be snapping. So let's go back to sequence 1, man. With these drums right here, this is my natural swing. If I was to lay some drums, this is what I'm aiming for every single time I lay some drums. I know y'all necks was snapping, cause mine's was. It's human nature. When you got that swing in your drums like that, you want those heads to be bobbing. It's important, man. So let's dive right into it. It's a few different ways for you to achieve the swing that you're trying to achieve. So we're going to do a whole nother sequence. Let me delete all of this right here. Delete that. Okay, so it's a few different ways for you to achieve this swing. For me, I'm more of a programmer than I am a performer. A lot of people finger drum, and they can do it like that. All praise to them. Super dope. For me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to program my drums. Now, the most I'll do in terms of finger drumming is I will sequence my hi-hat and my snare at the same time. It's all about what I'm doing, what the mood is, and what I got going on at the time. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to turn quantization off. And let's sequence some drums. I was off for a little bit. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I can get it looped perfectly. Sometimes I don't. If I do, I'll go back in there, nudge some things around, make some adjustments. But in a nutshell, that's how I would do it. Finger drumming. I would finger drum my hi-hat and my snare at the same time, then I would go in and I would sequence my kick. So, and that's just for all my performers out there. I'm just doing that for the sake. Now, for me, if I'm trying to achieve that same type of swing that I had in sequence 1, global timing correct is really good for dialing in swing. So let's do this. Let's turn this on. Let's go to 1/8, and we're gonna sequence some hi-hats. So to get that neck breaking swing, now the hi-hat drives this. The hi-hat is super important for driving that swing. Hi-hat is super important. If you know, you know. You want to keep your swing around between 58, 63. You can never really go wrong. And let's shift the timing back -2. Note repeat is really good for and this is why it's important to just really get in here and just play around with this, because you can really come up with some really dope swing. Note repeat is a very nifty tool to just kind of test out what you're doing before you do it. So got my hi-hat right here. You know, and we're getting that swingy late hi-hat that we're kind of aiming for. So let's lay that down real quick. And that's one way to do it. You know, let's lay a snare down real quick. Now for me, I like my snares. I like my snares to be, I'm missing a hi-hat in the beginning. We'll just keep on going. So let's nudge these snares over a little bit. I like them to hit a little early. I like them to snap. Sequence and a kick real quick. And as you can hear, that kick is kind of coming in a little early. Not saying that your kick can't be off the grid, it can. Normally for me, I like to keep all my kicks on the one. So let's do this. Let's do this. Just for the sake of my kick. We're going to turn quantization off. Now, as you can see, I added a couple ghost kicks in. Added a ghost kick in right before the second kick and a ghost kick in right before the last kick. Now, velocity is everything. Velocity has a lot to do with making sure you achieve that swing. So it's very important that you play around with velocity. You know, when you're working with ghost kicks, you know, a regular drummer isn't going to hit a kick drum at the same velocity within the same movement. So I like looking at clothes and art. I want to go to and making music. Automation. Turn it down to around about 70. And this is just for your ghost kick. They're not going to hit that same kick drum at the same velocity. That hi-hat is a little loud. Another tidbit too, go in, set your envelopes for your hi-hat. Set your envelopes for your hi-hat. And you want to also take down, I think I already got mine. I like to set mine like around like 50 or 60. 50 was probably fine. But let's take that velocity down for the hi-hats. Just so that kick can sit right on top of that hi-hat. You want that kick to come out a little bit more than the hi-hat. There we go. Now you can get really surgical with this. You can get really surgical with it. I would get in there, mess around with global time and correct. It's so many different ways for you to achieve what you're trying to do. Just get in there, get to work, experiment with it. I'm still learning different things. One more thing before I close out this video. I have two hi-hats right here. So like I told you before, hi-hats drive the swing in a beat. So let's see. Okay. So I got two hi-hats right here. And this is why I say velocity. Velocity is really, really important, especially when you're getting ready to do the method that I'm getting ready to show you. You can offset. I have two hi-hats layered on top of each other on pad 3. Let's bring this back negative 8,000. Negative 8,000 is pretty much home. Let's see. And you can offset this second one too to really kind of get the sound that you're trying to get. Set my I think that's just about what we're going for. Let me see. Let me bring it up. Bring that second one up a little bit. Probably bring it down a little bit. There we go. Sounds like a drummer's hi-hat, you know? So let's go to sequence 4. Sequence 4, let me change my BPM to 77. And see. If I was to do it like this, I would keep quantization on. I would do 8th note. Make sure you go back and you adjust the volume of these hi-hats. See how on the first one I have it fairly low, and the second one is kind of a little bit louder, a little bit. That's what you kind of want. So you play around with the volume to kind of get the sound that you're going for. So I would say between velocity levels and making sure your envelopes are set a certain type of way, you can achieve unique sounds, unique swings with your hi-hat. You know, and like I said before, you know, hi-hats drive the swing in a beat, you know. So that's pretty much it in terms of what I have, you know, in terms of, you know, achieving swing in a beat. You can play it out manually. You have global timing correct, and note repeat. Note repeat is going to be your friend, because before you commit to whatever swing you're experimenting with, this is home. So mess around with the swing, you know, go crazy with it, you know, go crazy with the timing. You want to do 71 swing, shift timing back, you know, play around with it. You know, I don't normally swing it at 71 with -11, but you may want to, you know, get in there and experiment with some sounds and, you know, figure out what sounds good to you, you know. But that's all I have for this video. You know, I go by mally.abstract. Y'all stay tuned with me. This is the second video in a series of videos I'm going to be doing on the MPC ONE. Just going to be sharing a lot of information that I've picked up in the last 5 years of using this machine. So y'all stay in the loop with me, and till next time, peace.